Do you want to turn Space Marine 2 into a Power Thirst commercial while blasting speed metal and introducing the Heretic and the Xenos to electrified splitting headaches while cackling maniacally? Well, I sure hope so, because that's what we're about to break down. And if not, maybe rethink your life choices and what you consider fun, because this is the most entertaining I've found the game in a long time. We've got two versions on deck here, one that's full send, and another with some tank and some utility if you want to be socially conscious. The core of this build revolves around the Heroic Power Axe, which realistically is a straight upgrade over the Relic Block Axe, because math. We'll be leaning heavily on the power backstep for AoE clear, supplemented by some on-parry and block procs and some decent, if perhaps uninspired, single-target damage unless you get your blocks on. So, let's break this down. We're going to start with the axe. Going with the perk tree, pretty self-explanatory. You're just going to go all the way down this bottom line here, picking up all of the mandatory things. Extra damage. First light attack within 5 seconds after a perfect parry or block deals 25% more. Overhead strike is doubled. 15% less range damage while you're performing a light combo. Power backstep does even more damage and is even more wide. That's a sentence. Extra damage against Majoris, you might notice a theme here. And for this last point, it's really dealer's choice. I like taking rebound. For light attacks restore 100% more contested health. You could, if you're Johnny on the spot about using your secondary to regen contested health, instead go with Perpetual Strength for the extra 5% damage. Might help you hit some pertinent breakpoints a little bit faster. Moving on, going with the Heavy Bolt Pistol. Going with the Aphelion Liberation Alpha just because extra ammo, and well, if you only have a pistol, you probably want more ammo. The Heroic is not a good fit on Bulwark, I think, just because of the ammo pool. It's perhaps better suited to something like the Heavy. So for perks, we got this wiggly thing going on. Extra damage, extra penetration, extra ammo, extra mag size. After killing a Majoris or higher in melee combat, you deal 25% more damage for 10 seconds. This does proc off of executes. 10% more damage against Terminus. It'll help when you're plinking away at that Neurothrope. When you have low ammo, you deal even more damage, because if you have low ammo, chances are you're having a bad time. The last round in your mag does 50% more. Cool, sure, whatever. Headshots deal 10% more damage because saber math. And after a gun strike, the weapon instantly reloads, and headshots deal 20% more damage at the cost of 10% less non-headshot damage. But non-headshot damage is bad, so less than 10% of bad in exchange for 20% more good. I'll take it. So coming into the perks here. So this is the full send version. We're going to start off with Intimidating Aura. Perfectly timed parry deals AoE damage within a 5-meter radius every 5 seconds. This also procs off block. This one you've got options, really. You can take enemies in a shock area, take 25% more damage just cause. But realistically, I would say either go with Armor of Contempt, because the extra AoE when you're getting shot at is nice, or go with Scrambled Targeting, so when you're surrounded by 5 or more crunchies, you're automatically taking less damage from ranged attacks. Now, the game is coded in a way that if you're surrounded by 5 or more enemies, you shouldn't be prioritized by ranged enemies. Now, I think we all know in experience that sometimes that's not the case. So, perhaps best to take this and just be safe. Third column, I like Defensive Advantage. Again, this is the full send, okay? There is very little wiggle room. If you wanted to be responsible, you would take Steel Within, because Bulwark gets 30% extra starting health. So, because math, you have extra effective HP with this 30% less health damage when your health is less than 50%. This is the safe choice. This is the mature choice. I would suggest this one, but if you like shock fields, well, there's the fun choice and then there's the responsible choice. For the team perk, I would say you can go with either Focused Restoration or Advanced Conditioning. Advanced Conditioning is nice because it gives everybody a little bit more time to regen that contested health, but realistically, per the math, Focused Restoration is probably better, especially when we're talking about really high-level content, because everybody gets an armor segment, which is very similar to how shield gating works in Warframe, if you're familiar, and if you have any armor, well, it's not like the enemy damage from a single hit spills over from your armor into your health, and it might be random, but you can actually get saved from big hits like a Hive Tyrant or a Hellbrute. Not that thinking about Hellbrutes is pertinent this week or anything. All right, moving on. Purity of Purpose. Banner deals damage over time within its area of effect. It's not much, but it's extra damage, and I like extra damage. For this one, Concussive Force is the full send. Shield Bash does 200% more damage. Shield Rush does 100% more damage. We don't really care about the Thunderhammer perks because we're not using that. Realistically, this is the full send perk. This is the socially responsible perk. This is the one that refills your contested health every time you drop a flag. And especially on some harder stratagems, let's say, it can be really useful to be able to just say like, nope, you're healed. Especially if you find a med kit, you drop the banner, you tell your friend to pop his med kit, and if he had a mortal wound, it's gone and he's now at full health. The utility here is really hard to deny. All right, last one, Merciless Resolve. After a Shield Bash, Shield Rush, we don't care about Thunderhammer. Your melee damage increases by 15%, and you do not lose control on taking heavy hits, and you can't be knocked back for 10 seconds. So really, you should be shield bashing at least once every 10 seconds, at a minimum. Shield Rush is also dope. Work it into your rotation. And for the signature perk, we're going to go with Defensive Mastery. This perk is bugged right now. It doesn't have a cooldown. It's dumb. It's dumb. That said, even if it wasn't bugged, I'd still take this one. It was good before it was bugged. It's still going to be good after it's fixed. For prestige perks, just real quick, we've got Overcharge for held and charged attack damage increasing by 20%. Ability Charge is restored by 1% for every blocked ranged attack. Medicae Stims Brain? Can we say words? Restore 40% more health. And then Powerful Shot, range damage increases by 20%. So there you go. We ran through the fun choices and the responsible choices. There is the build that actually has me enjoying Space Marine again. And at the end of the day, this build brings mobility with strong DPS, an AoE that doesn't rely on striking a pose for multiple seconds, charging a fist like an anime character, solid survivability, and team utility all in one. Yeah, sure, that one talent is bugged right now, but like I said, it was strong before, it'll be strong after they fix it. Enjoy. Go purge some Xenos and chastise the heretic. I've been Bald Squid. I'll see you next time.